Hi friends and subscribers, and we're back. The top 4 essentials. We are going to talk about the next 3 essentials that you friends need to successfully start your own self-sustainable homestead, or just make some changes in your life to be a little bit more independent. And it's kind of ironic because we just in the last video were talking about wood, right? Well, there's our wood pile amongst the rest of the wood that we have on the homestead. That's just a small pile. I mean, look over there. We got tons of wood. But look at what it's next to. Oh, it's next to our solar panels. And it's a bright, beautiful day. And we are going to be talking about renewable energy as the next essential on your homestead. Renewable energy is a real heated topic, so I'm going to touch on some highlights real quickly. Number one, I want to debunk something. I've got a lot of people who come on the channel and they comment about the astronomical cost of setting up solar for their homes. They've went to the solar experts and they were quoted $24,000 to $32,000. I want you to put this in perspective because the quotes that you are getting from the solar experts are usually quotes for the setup you have right now. They look at how much electricity you're using, they look at your bill, and then that's how they come up with their quotes. So when you're going off the grid and you want to start a self-sustainable homestead, you're not going to be taking that energy hog of a home with you. Now you could, and that array may cost you $24,000, but the point of becoming self-sustainable is what? We don't want to be energy hogs anymore. We don't want to be consumers. We want to live a different life. So be smart. Do your research, do some legwork. When we decided that we wanted to disconnect from the grid, that's what I did. I bought a lot of books. I went online. I called wholesalers. I just went on a kind of a Starry rampage. And I tell you, I kind of became my own expert. I could tell you just about anything about solar by the time 2 years was done because, we started looking at this way ahead of time. And then what I started doing was buying the components. I ordered the inverter. I ordered a charge controller. Then came the batteries and the panels, all of these. So everything you see here, we purchased. And this is the awesome thing. It came right to our door, from a trimetric to this big Synwave inverter to our charge controllers. We've got one for wind turbine. We've got one for the solar array. Even batteries now can be purchased. And there's our battery bank online. But this is the key. You have to be smart about also buying online. We did a lot of research, and when we finally decided to make some purchases, you have to be smart with who you choose. That's why you call these people up and you talk to them. One that really we recommend highly, highly, highly. Why? Because the guy actually lived off the grid. He was born and raised off the grid with solar panels. He knows about wind turbines. He knows about battery banks, refractometers. The guy knows his stuff. We like people who walk the walk and talk the talk. We like that. I think if you're living the life, or you've lived the life, that's who you want to be talking to, right? So Modern Day Survival, the guy's name is Sam. Give him a call. He's got a really nice website. In fact, he's going to have another website coming up all about modern day survival and homesteading, and you're going to be hearing that name a lot, but moderndaysurvival.com. And the other thing I want to talk about real quickly is about experts. When do you hire that expert? Let's talk about experts, because real quickly on our homestead, we did pay a qualified electrician. This may be something that you want to really consider when it comes to erecting your solar array or your hydro. Remember, qualified electricians have to meet code. A lot of places where in the country, things have to be inspected. You want to pass inspection, right? Qualified electrician. This is a life insurance policy by hiring an expert like an electrician. And just remember, you already saved money on buying your components. Don't get roped into having somebody else do that for you. Do your research, buy your own components, and then hire that electrician to come in and wire for you. And again, choosing who you have, you purchase those components from. When I have an issue and a question about the solar panel or inverter, you want to buy from someone who knows their stuff, right? And moving on to the next top essential that you need for self-sustainability. And look at this. We all know it's water, right? It's water. And I'm showing you first our spring, which is our first self-sustainable source for our water. Beautiful, isn't it? This is gorgeous. And let's go down and I'll show you the other sustainable sources of water that we have on our homestead, because you need to have hopefully a couple sources of water on your self-sustainable homestead. So you really have to think outside the box. And it really is a different way of thinking, because when you come from an on-grid lifestyle, you're used to turning on the faucet and having the water utility company provide for you, right? Well, not anymore. So you want to make sure that when you're looking for a homestead, the number one priority for buying that home or buying that property is going to be your water. We know, and Starry has said this before, that water is liquid gold. So for your self-sustainable homestead, you have to address the water needs, and hopefully not just one water option. Hopefully you will be looking at many water options to sustain that homestead. So here's our first one. I'll show you the rest. This is our holding tank. It's 1,500 gallons, and that's where the spring water flows into and provides water for our house. And that may be something that you friends may have to look into, some type of holding tank, be it cement or plastic, a below ground or above ground. All right, other options that we have here on our homestead, because we really like to have all our bases covered with our water options. We like to be prepared. Down, and this is actually a brilliant idea. I'm going to walk over here to show you, friends. A pond is a great option for water on any homestead. Now, that hose, you can see in spring fountain, where there's the hose right over there. And if you listen, the water from the overflow from our buried cistern is going right into this pond. A pond is a great option to have on any self-sustainable homestead. If you have extra water, or you can divert water into a pond. Doesn't cost much to excavate it. When we moved here, there was already a hole dug. The other owner had the same idea, so we just had to kind of put the finishing touches on, and that money was well spent to finish up this pond area. We also should talk about, if you have a chance to buy a piece of property and you're faced with drilling a well, invest in the well. It is investment for your homestead, your self-sustainability, and sometimes wells can be expensive, but it's a good investment. So wells, if you can't do a well, there are other options. You know, we just saw the pond, spring development, seep development, above ground holding tanks are always good. You can do that. So, and we're also going to show you one last option that every homestead should look into. Advice I'm going to give are rain barrels, rain catchment. Doesn't make any difference where you live. Rain catchment is a huge possibility, even in dry areas, because whenever it rains, you just place those 55-gallon drums or buckets or whatever you have around the house, and you place them underneath those eaves, and you've got free water. But one last thing before I give you the last option to really think about. And this really comes down to SHTF situation, because me and Mr. Hilder, we do believe that one day, and not just a natural disaster, but we really do believe that we're heading in that direction when all the conveniences that we're so used to having at our fingertips just aren't going to be there. A real SHTF situation. So we do set things up with that in the back of our head. So if you're that type of person and you are creating a self-sustainable homestead, remember, If you are depending on hauling water, which some people in our community do, because it's a viable option. It keeps them off the grid. It gives them water where they couldn't obtain water. That's great. That's great. But if you are hauling water and depending on the municipality for that water, or you're having water brought into your homestead, just remember, that's a dependence. That's a dependence. And even though right now in modern day times, today and now, it's working for you, you better have some backup plans, because the municipality, something could happen. What happens if the municipality water source gets contaminated? We had a little ditty in town not too long ago with rodents, okay? So really think about your water options. It's a serious, serious priority on your homestead. It's up the top 3. The last video we talked about wood. We talked in this video about the renewable energy source, and we talked about water. There's going to be a quiz. Starry's going to quiz you. No F's now. Okay. Come back this week. I am going to be talking about the very last essential that is going to help you friends become more self-sustainable. Remember, hear it from the horse's mouth. Yeah, me. We walk the walk, we talk the talk. This is real life here. No actors, no made-up stuff. So keep coming back for good, solid, practical information that works. And don't forget to share. Share the videos on Facebook. Come visit me on Mother Earth News. I've got a blog. Come visit me on my website. Lots of resources out there. Okay, till then, until the next video, God bless.